Welcome to BitBoy Crypto. The best way is... If you became a millionaire, would you keep working? You know? I want to tell you guys something. What's going on right now is California's trying to figure out about crypto. My name is Ben. We're talking balls. Welcome to the BitBoy Crypto Bull Market. The People's Channel, home of the BitSquad, largest and greatest crypto community in all the interwebs. No channel works harder to keep you in the know about crypto. That is right, guys. I made sure that my staff went and bought me balloons and put them behind me for my birthday. I forced them to celebrate my birthday every single year. I don't know what Allison has in her hand, but I don't know if I like it. Okay, what is she doing here? Oh, look. She doesn't know how to do it. She doesn't know how to do it. She doesn't know how to do this. Guys, it is my birthday today. I am 40 years old today. Somebody said that I'm a little bit late because I was picking out my Gucci shirt to wear today. This is actually a Gucci shirt, so you were correct on that. This is my Gucci vacation shirt. It's also the return to the bull market vibes today, obviously, as we have a button-up shirt that looks like a vacation shirt. As you guys know, that's what we wore in the entire bull market. Will we go back there again? I don't know. I'm not sure, to be honest with you guys. But we're having a major disaster off the show as they're trying to surprise me by throwing confetti all over me, and yet they cannot get it to work. So this is all right. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh my goodness, that was loud.
Allison,
Jeez,
you shot my ear off.
that's intense.
It's money. Oh, it's money. They're little $100 bills.
Hey, look at that.
Oh, that's weird because my money feels very small right now. So
Yeah.
This is perfect. You got to be patient and wait for your surprise. My stepmom actually brought up a birthday card for me today. I'm trying to cover all the information because apparently people already have my driver's license number, but you can't really see it. But this is my driver's license from when I was 15 years old, learner's license. So that was now 25 years ago. So how about that? Chris Maddox with a super chat. Happy birthday, man. Love what you and your team do. Well, thank you so much, guys. Look, we're here for y'all. If there's anything that has ever been true, at this point, you guys understand, we are here for you. We are here for the people. Can you borrow a little money? Yeah, Mr. Techno Goody, take it. There you go. There's a little bit of money. What do I think about Aptos? I actually like Aptos. I got some very interesting information on Aptos yesterday, which is Aptos basically knew it was a bad time to launch, but launched anyways because there's another project coming that they are trying to front run. Some people probably know what that project is. Once again, I'm not invested in either one of these projects. But these are two that are definitely on my radar. FTX absolutely crushed. How do you get a license? 15 is a learner's license. FTX has absolutely crushed the Aptos launch. They were the number one investor from what I understand in it. And of course, the VC world, there's a lot of topsy-turviness going on. But I tell you guys, still watch Aptos and watch this other project, which I don't want to give today, but we'll do it at some point.
Yeah, there was. Did you see that graphic they put in the research group of new layer ones? Aptos.
Where's it? No, I didn't.
Aptos was obviously on there.
What else?
Sui. Which
Okay, that's it, guys. That's a project. It's Sui. I'll give it to you. That's it.
We've talked about it before. SUI.
I haven't talked about it.
Well, loosely. We've mentioned it on the stream.
Yeah. I don't know much about it.
Yeah, it's another one that uses that Move programming language, which is really big. Oh man!
Thank you for all the super chats, guys. Appreciate that for the birthday. Block 1, Manuel Ruben Silis, Crypto JMP. Appreciate that, guys.
But yeah, it's a pretty cool graphic. It might be worth breaking down. There's a couple other, several others I haven't really heard of. Fuel, Quai, QUAI, Linera, SEI. Wow. So it's interesting. It might be worth doing a breakdown.
Yeah. Well, I think it is something interesting to look at these layer ones. And here's what people aren't talking about. Here's what people are not talking about. With these layer ones comes what? New chains for NFTs, new chains for DeFi, new types of DeFi protocols. So these are certainly things that are going to be, people are going to have to take a look at. So somebody airdropped me 3 FTX for my birthday. Yeah. FTT, I guess you mean? That's good. Where is Allison?
Well, she just took off.
Can you go find Allison so I can ask her a question?
Best birthday present, rather than airdrop an FTT, you could smash that like button. Though.
Smash that like button. Number one thing you can do as a member of the BitSquad to cause crypto adoption. And we are so close to adoption. It's going to happen any day. Yeah. All you got to do is smash that like button. So I guess we have a show to do today. We will be doing a show today. So excited about that. SPF derangement syndrome. That's what somebody says. Guys, Allison, did you order our Halloween costumes?
Oh, they're here. Yes.
Oh, they're here?
Yes.
Oh, so we are dressed. Okay.
Yeah.
Big surprise. Okay, cool. That's great. We do have our Halloween costumes.
Yeah, we have coordinated Halloween costumes, of course.
Yeah.
For the show.
Ranch channels have been talking about Sweet. I'm sure they have. They're, inside on a lot of these projects. Not in a negative way. I just mean they know a lot of these projects. They're international as well. They get access to more, more information about these new projects than we do. So, okay. I was on Rand Show this weekend. Did you guys like when I was on Rand Show on Saturday on Crypto Banner? I like Rand. I thought we did a great job breaking down what's going on with SBF. So, when is the rant channel coming? That's a good question. I don't know. Are we going to do a channel of only my rants? Do I have to go on a new rant every day?
That'd be a lot of rants.
You know what I noticed? Last week, I was trying to figure out what in the world is wrong with my hand. Why does my hand hurt? And it's the way I smashed my hand on the table during that rant.
Oh.
So, okay. I will be going to Token 2049 here in a few weeks in London, by the way. I had a good time in Las Vegas. Really enjoyed hanging out with Sin City Crypto. Shout out to Sin City Crypto. They were so friendly, so nice hosting us there for the show. We got to do the show every day out there. It was a great show. It was a change up, it was a switch up from what I normally do. It was very difficult for me to stay on topic with them for sure. But okay. All right, let's go ahead and move on here. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We got 1.43 million subscribers, as you guys know. We are the top American YouTube channel for crypto, educate more people than anybody else in the history of the world in crypto for sure. Only got to continue as our book, Catching Up to Crypto, comes out. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, 904.6 thousand followers here on Twitter. Reminder, I'll be at Web Summit at the end of the month. Here's a tweet from Coin Bureau. I thought this was interesting. My comment here, you guys know, I told you I cleared the air with him. Me and Coin Bureau are good. LOL, this is actually hilarious. I fact checked in the facts checkout. They literally got this Instagram post, fact checked and said to be partly false. Hey, cool. Government is trying to make my life easier with digital currency. CBDC? This means bank have the control of every penny you own, vulnerable to state and foreign actors, social credit scores. Every transaction is documented. Access can be turned off at any moment. Frozen funds. Zero privacy. Cybersecurity attacks. Zero anonymity. All your movements and actions are traceable. Centralization. And here we go. Convenience. That's all we see. And this right here, folks, is supposedly false. Supposedly false. Why did I think your birthday was on the 28th? Is it your sister's on the 28th of September? Ironically, my sister's birthday is in September, but it is at the beginning of the month. My brother's birthday is September 28th. That may be why you're thinking that.
I was going to say, I know why September 28th is a significant date for them.
We know why people.
It's not their birthday.
Yeah, it is not. November 28th, ironically, is the date we're targeting for the. TJ, what are your thoughts on this market right now? Before we really get into everything, we're going to bring blockchain backer on here in just a second. While you're talking, I'm going to pull up CoinMarketCap, but yeah, I want people to really understand, it's kind of confusing where things are at right now. I think I know, but where do you think things are?
It's tough. I mean, I assume you're talking about the short term, like the next couple weeks or something like that.
Thank you, Crypto Billy, for super.
I'm going to stick to what I said Monday, and this is partially due to metrics, partially due to macro, partially just due to gut. What my instincts are telling me. A lot of stuff on Monday, I was expecting bullishness. A lot of the traders, a lot of the TA was setting up for a bullish week this week. I have felt like and still feel like we're going to have positive movement this week, and then we're going to get it all wiped away next week with the Fed raise. I think we are going to see another rate hike next week, which wipes out a lot of this positive movement. And then it becomes, clearing all these levels becomes even more difficult. Obviously, a lot of these things we passed become resistance. Then beyond that, going into, past the midterms, past December, it's really tough to call. Like, I can't really call, if it's depending on how much we hit. Like, I'm hoping we crash pretty hard after this next rate hike and that we're officially bottom, and then we can start churning up from there. And then see, maybe range, next year between a handful of different numbers. But that's just what my gut says. But it's hard to call what's going to happen in December for sure. Yeah. I do know they backed off. Supposedly they're backing down in Canada. Like, they were supposed to do a 0.75 and they're talking about maybe a 0.5. So we've seen Canada kind of front run some of this stuff, and that would be encouraging, but still feel like the Fed's in complete control.
Yeah. I mean, I tend to feel the same way, but we'll have some more conversations here in a little bit. Because I really want to talk about the macro in Bitcoin at some point, because I think people have got the totally wrong idea of the macro in Bitcoin. Crypto Billy, thank you for that super chat. Very nice what you said. A lot of people commenting on that. Blessed man, great wife and kids, great business associates, outstanding employees, biggest crypto channel, unbelievable facility, and great community you built, Ben. What a birthday present to reflect on all this in the lives you have positively influenced. And I tell you what,
Facts.
never has that been more clear than this week, than the last 2 weeks, for sure. I do not have a link for Token 2049. I don't have a promotional for that. We actually haven't done any, anytime we've been giving you a link for a conference lately, we don't make any money on that. We just want to see you guys come out. I want to meet you guys. Let me tell you, right before we bring blockchain back on, like, I had something kind of cool happen. Like, we went to the Ripple party the other night at Hakkasan at MGM Grand, and I'm walking out. I'm there with Cassie, a rapper, and we did a little thing together for his latest song, and it was cool. We did a little interview, and then I walked out by myself. I'm walking through the casino, and right as I start walking through the casino, I hear this, Ben. So I says, Ben, and I turn around, and it's two guys that are there for a totally different conference. Had no idea I was there. And the way that they were so excited to see me and tell me that they had my back and we're out there fighting for the people and they know that. And it was just one of those moments where it's like, they didn't know I was there. They had no clue. They were there for a totally different conference. And the fact that just getting to see me and talk to me and talk about this movement that we have going on right now was enough to make their day. Like, to me, that's something really cool. That's something that's really special and things like that. So my dad is calling, probably tell me happy birthday.
Oh,
hey,
wow.
Dad.
Hey, pal. I've done it the last 2 years. I just want to call you and tell you happy birthday.
He always tells me happy birthday live on the stream. Well, Dad, I love you. Hope you're doing well. How are you doing from your cancer? Everybody wants to know.
Absolutely wonderful. I'm basically done with all my treatment, so
well,
time to move on.
Time to move on. You guys, the people heard it. Time to move on. All right, Dad. Well, thanks for calling me. I love you.
Love you, pal.
Okay. All right. Bye. My dad always calls me during the live stream. The first time he did it on accident. Maybe it was on purpose. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's
Now,
bring blockchain back on. Let's talk crypto for a minute.
all right.
Okay. Hold on. Let me put this in. There he is. Oh, he's wearing the white with the black XRP logo.
Happy birthday!
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Hey, did you like that that video meme that they made on Twitter?
Bro.
That was awesome.
Yeah, dude, for sure, man. You had a nice roll in there. I was next to Jeremy and next to John.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I'm a star in here too.
Exactly. We were all star. We were right there. We were next to all our people, man. It was really fun. If you guys haven't seen that, go check it out on Twitter. I retweeted it. So I said my dad has a funny accent. He'll tell you I'm just a North Georgia redneck. I'm just North Georgia hillbilly. That's what he'll tell you. So all right, blockchain backer. Let's get into where do you think this market is right now? I mean, you've said you thought the bottom is in for a while now. You still believe that? Let's find out what you got for us today.
Sure, man. So, that's kind of what I prepared. I guess I'll do a screen share here real
Sure.
quick. First of all,
Okay.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me on.
Of course.
Let's do
Well,
the
enjoy.
screen share. Here we go. All right. The big debate, right? We've all got the big debate out there on whether or not Bitcoin's bottom is in or Bitcoin's bottom is not in. And I don't have the answer, but I will present some of the arguments. I know, Ben, that you, and first of all, I'm not here to put any ideas down. I will show justifiable reasons on why people do believe certain things. I know that you are particularly in the belief that we do have one more flush down to do. If we look back to 2014, if we look back to 2018, we got down to the price level where we're at right now. We're now in that time window of where one more flush came through, right? So there's big belief out there that that's where we're at right now. And if we take a look at the Bitcoin price chart on a much bigger time frame, essentially what we're all arguing here with that ideology is that the current level that we're at right now is similar to us being at like 6K Bitcoin back in 2018 or $350 Bitcoin back in 2014, and that there would be one more flush. And if you take a look at each of these time moments in here, and this was actually a 71% drawdown off of the all-time high back in 2014, and this was a 70% drawdown off of the all-time high in 2018. Where are we at right now? We're actually at right around 73%. I would say having that ideology, having that mindset and that logic to jump to that conclusion does make very logical sense. I can completely understand why people would do that and have that belief in that. So when we look at it from a time perspective and when we look at it from a drawdown perspective, we see incredible similarities in there to jump to that conclusion that that's what we're doing. when we go beyond that, when we go beyond just looking at the time and the percentages to look at what the price action of Bitcoin is doing, it's nothing similar to those. When we go past that, when we go past time and percentages, it's not the same. And I'll show these things. Let me go ahead and put us on the weekly time frame over here. So essentially our argument is that where we are right now is in these two locations. And last time I was on your show, you know, we showed the simplicity of this, of simply the moving averages. So in 2014 and in 2018, these particular moments were us cracking through the 100-week moving average in both circumstances.
Okay.
As we can see, we did that quite a while ago.
Yeah.
If we look to how far the drawdowns were on both of these, we can see that the drawdown from Bitcoin in here was about 50%. The drawdown in here was about 43%. And the drawdown we've had currently is 50%. So have we had similar drawdowns below the 100-week moving average? Yeah. And so from that perspective, it's not the same. So what does this tell you? It tells you that no matter what, this time is going to be different compared to these two times.
Yeah.
One, we have never seen a moment in time where we break through the 100-week moving average and then those moving averages cross and then price keeps going down. Every time we've cracked through them and then the moving averages crossed, the bottom was already in. That's the circumstance we actually have already happening here on Bitcoin right now. So if the bottom holds,
is this due to just the recent pump, like the last couple of days? Is that what caused them to cross?
No, they actually crossed weeks ago. So we can go back here
and look the weekly
and see.
Chart?
Yeah, this is the weekly chart.
Oh, it's a weekly. Okay.
So we're looking at much bigger time frames here.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
So if this level holds, like we talked about, it's like a 73% drawdown. It will be the most shallow Bitcoin pull down.
This is something I really want to talk about. But go ahead, continue.
Yeah, so we've never seen it to where it only goes 73%. But at the same time, if we do go plunging one more time down, then we can look back to these moments and say, we've also never seen it to where we have these things occur, to where we break through these moving averages, and then it plunges again. Every time it's gone through, that was the end of it. The move was exhausted, and then it was completely done. So I do fear that if there is one more big plunge down, I know a lot of people look to this and say, this is what we have to do, but it would actually make things very different on the price chart in that circumstance. And the argument is that it's actually, this whole moment right in here is actually like, let me get this wrong. We get that right. This moment in here is like our moment back in here. And I'll show this again on another reason why it's pretty important that we've already had this moment actually occur. And we'll jump into this in a second, but first, let's go to the monthly time frame on Bitcoin. This is since 2011. So every candle on here represents one whole month of Bitcoin. And if we look to the relative strength index of how deep Bitcoin has actually gone, we can look down here to see that even on the monthly time frame, we have already pulled all the way back down in exhaustion for Bitcoin to remain bullish. So a relative strength index is kind of measuring the speed of price action over time. And when you are measuring a bullish asset to see if it's bouncing at specific locations, or if you're measuring something that is bearish, you're really focusing on the 60 level and you're focusing on this 40 level. As long as the relative strength is bouncing off the 40 level and just keeps going up, you're in a bullish asset. Once the 40 gets broken, then it becomes that the 60 is typically going to be a resistance and you actually are in a bearish asset. So currently throughout Bitcoin's entire history, it's done a really good job maintaining that 40 level in here. And we can see we've already come way down here on the monthly time frame of how deep these things actually go once the capitulation moment has actually already occurred, as if we've already had that moment already happen. And we can see that in here, that right here, this is where we went for our capitulation, and then back over here, this is where we went for our capitulation. So notice we're already at 40. So if we have one more breakdown, even our relative strength index indicates that Bitcoin would become a bearish long-term asset. So I'm not here to like doo-doo on that. I'm just pointing out the data on that.
You don't want to fight.
Yeah, bro. Let's go.
Let's go. Okay, let's go. Let's get the cage. Look, I think all this is
so
very interesting.
Last thing.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Last thing, and then we'll go.
Okay.
We'll move on to whatever you want to talk about.
Sure.
When I originally came on your channel back in March was the first time we were looking at this, man, and being like, I do believe Bitcoin's in a bear market. We can see that it's been acting just like the depths of Bitcoin deep in bear markets, and that we've already had our capitulation moment. And one of the interesting things about Bitcoin is that this was a humbling moment for me. I got the top of Bitcoin right over here. I got the bottom here, and I even said we would set a brand new all-time high, but just barely, and that would be the end of it. But I was looking for somewhat of a bigger retracement to come out of here that we just didn't quite get. But what we can see that actually ended up happening in here is that Bitcoin's price action went back and hit its 200-day moving average in here. Now, what's so important about that, or what's so interesting about that, is to look back to this moment in time of where we're pulling this bearish time period from. Right here, that's this moment, hitting back on the 200-day moving average. And once we hit that, we actually ended up crashing 63%. Zoom in a little bit so your viewers can see that. 63% over here. And then head over to here. Head over to what we've already done now, looking for this to occur. We hit the 200-day moving average, and then we go ahead and we fall 63%. So we've already had the action play out of what would have occurred if we already had our capitulation. But as we can see, we just didn't stall out here for a long time at all. We just kept going. We just, we had the Luna collapse, we had the UST collapse, all that stuff, and just put the ball in motion. So point being, if we hold this level, it's the most shallow bear market ever seen for Bitcoin. If we break lower, it deviates away from everything we've ever seen at the same time. So it's going to be interesting. My thoughts, my guess is, it's hard to say. I lean towards, I want to cheer. So I want to cheer for Bitcoin to be bullish. So I want to see this level hold. If this level breaks, I have to start thinking of it in the mind frame of long-term bearish Bitcoin, because we will have suddenly swapped to a much more bearish style. And I don't want that. I don't think any of us want that. And so I'm cheering for the level to hold, because my view is that if we do end up going lower, then things get in trouble.
Yeah. Well, what about if we went to, let's say we wick down to 15.5? Would that be enough to send it way under, like to where that 60 is going to be resistance? What if it was just a quick wick, came back up? Could that kind of satisfy both requirements there?
I guess, but the problem with that is we've never seen that before.
Right.
The levels have always held. So if we're gonna go based off history on saying that this matters, then you would think we would need to kind of stay true to other aspects of the history as well.
Right.
And that's never happened to where we go any lower. And in addition, right now, it's that we're at like a retracement level. So if you look at like what we've done for all of 2020 and 2021, and then now the pullback of 2022, it's at the last retracement level. So there's no more no more lows that can be set without taking out the last retracements. So my thoughts,
love it.
My thoughts are, if it goes lower, it is bigger problems. But I hope it doesn't. I'm cheering for Bitcoin. And I caught a lot of flack in 2021 because I was screaming the top was in, and people thought I hated Bitcoin, and I'm a meanie. But I'm not. I'm totally cheering for Bitcoin to hold. I pray it doesn't go any lower.
Yeah.
But
well, I think it's very fascinating. Two things come to mind real quick here. Number one is, if we have already bottomed, let's say that was the bottom, and we go that direction. Well, our bottom would have been in June. And this would really, in my opinion, go back to really strengthen the argument of that November false top theory. That November was really just the big boys pumping up liquidity to exit. And, the top of the market was actually when the Coinbase IPO happened. That was the top of the sentiment. Like Richard Hart says, like with the exception of one day, literally one day, we never saw a higher price after that. We just saw one day it came up, came right back down. Because, that would still kind of fit within the 4-year cycle period. The pattern, which would be you get basically the bottom, 13 and a half months away from the top. So, that's something interesting. The second thing that really comes to my mind, did you have something you want to show us on that real quick?
Yeah, man.
Okay, cool.
I want to say that I used to think that was the dumbest thing in the entire world.
Yeah.
I thought it was so silly when people would say that, and just the last few times I've been on your channel, I've agreed with you because it just unbelievably appears that way. When I was looking for the top, and a lot of people were thinking that we were going to see a repeat of what we saw in past cycles, where Bitcoin. We're right on track. Everybody's thinking that's where we're going, but I had created this argument that no, it was right on track. But my argument the whole time was no. This is our third super cycle. We're getting to the end. I've shown you this before. You could see where the top comes in, where the bottom comes in. It retraces, reaccumulates, and then we see how the price action has played out in previous super cycles. And that this was your exciting moment that happened in here. This is laser eyes, diamond hands. The absolute euphoria of the market. And that when Coinbase IPO'd back there on April 14th, right? Ever since that day, and you look at time to say, how has time played out from that moment of April 14th? Enough time elapsed for the bottom to come in, and that we're really just in absolutely boring, brutal accumulation in here. And it's just dragging out. But if this is the case, and my fingers are crossed that it is, we're over halfway.
Yeah, I know, right?
But we got to keep making videos, bro, about it.
I'm not going to stop making videos. I don't know if people think that. I think that,
man.
This would, if we did end up already having the bottom, then certainly we would have to come up with some kind of new dates for where we think bull market's going to be. It would be a little bit earlier, of course, in 2024 than people might be expecting. But the halving still coming at the same date, so just something to watch. Now, could you imagine if we had like Bitcoin heading back above 40 or above 50 by the time we have the halving? That could lead us to something really crazy with high prices. But the one thing I want to say is, a lot of people in the chat have been mentioning this, and you mentioned this as well. 73% drawdown. If this ends up being the max drawdown that we receive, to me, this goes so far to pushing away the idea that the macro affects Bitcoin. If this is the shallowest bear market we've ever had during the most turbulent macro time we've ever had, then I think that stands to reason that Bitcoin is marching to its own drum, and it's not really listening to what the macro environment is doing, even though that's the idea people want to force on you. It's not affecting Bitcoin as much as people would thought. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the thing that's been interesting about Bitcoin is it's gone down in essentially a straight line. It's had no real bounces or retracements. So for the last year, it's been nothing but down. When it comes to the macro and with Bitcoin in particular, I've done a lot of research on this and I've spent a lot of time on it, on the debate between, Bitcoin block reward halvings and between the stock market. Yeah. Which one is it, right? And you can take a look at the particular dates. That's just the best way I've done it. I'm like, hey, what happens on particular dates for the stock market for Bitcoin to break into a new all-time high? Are these new all-time highs that Bitcoin ends up setting here related to, pull it up so I can just at least say, when we're setting these new all-time highs here, right? When we break out in December of 2020 and we go into a new all-time high, when we break out over here and we go into these new all-time highs, we set our all-time high in January of 2017, or, heading back to 2013 when we break out and go into bull runs. How closely tied is it to the actual Bitcoin block reward halving? And how closely tied is it to major events happening in the stock market? And what we see repeatedly is that the stock market is breaking out of actual ranges, or at least the Dow Jones Industrial Averages. And, I believe I believe there was like 8 weeks time in 2013 after the block reward halving. I believe it was 13 weeks after in the 2016 and 17. And I believe it was 26 weeks after the block reward halving that Bitcoin broke out in a new all-time high in 2020. But what you'll notice also is that each time Bitcoin breaks into a new all-time high, it's within 2 to 8 weeks of significant things happening in the stock market. In 2013, when this major run began and it broke into a new all-time high, it was within like 2 weeks of when the Dow Jones broke above the great financial crisis high. So we'd spent years below. And then right when we break out into a new all-time high, so does Bitcoin. Same story goes for 2017. The Dow Jones Industrial Average ranged for 3 years. Within weeks, it's between 3 and 8 weeks, boom, Bitcoin breaks out. And then go on to 2020, it's the same story. We break out from C19 highs, and then we go at the same time. So, yeah, so your argument is, how far have we pulled back? Does that have to do with macro? Does it not have to do with macro? Here, I'll take this off.
Yep.
I would say it's what is real interesting about it is there's actually less correlation when it comes to actual price action compared to there seems to be extreme correlation on if Bitcoin is going to set a new all-time high. The Dow Jones needs to be doing it at the same time. It's happened in the last 3 major bull runs that the Dow Jones was breaking out into a multi-year all-time high after being stuck for several years prior. So, it's one of those things you just really overlay the Dow Jones, overlay Bitcoin, get nitty and gritty, look at the details of the dates, and then you'll kind of say, man, okay. So now the big question comes, will the Dow Jones set another new all-time high? If it is, that's great for Bitcoin because that's always meant that Bitcoin, every time, it's meant that Bitcoin goes on and sets a new all-time high too. But if it doesn't, what does that mean? Big question.
It means we're all poor. We're all poor.
Yeah.
Well,
we're all buying treasury bonds at 4.5%.
I'm going to jump off a bridge. Well, thanks for coming on. Definitely been very informative. You guys make sure to go check out Blockchain Backer. We got his handle or his URL for YouTube in the chat. You guys make sure to follow him on Twitter. He's really great there. Superstar, obviously, of the XRP meme. He was right there next to some really important people. I was at the very beginning. My head's kind of off the screen, on the screen. I don't know what that means. Maybe they think I've got one good side, one bad side. But Blockchain Backer, we'd love to have you on again in the future, of course, as always. And thank you for the information.
Sure.
And, I think the next couple of weeks we'll tell the tale of the tape. So we will catch you later.
All right, brother. Thanks, guys.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
That gave me some stuff. I hate when he does that. I hate when he gives me some stuff to think about. And look, I still believe bottom is not in. And this is what it boils down to. I still believe we go down somewhere in the 13.5 to 15K range. I think that's a strong point for a bottom for Bitcoin. Obviously, 10,366 would be the 85% drawdown number. So anything above that would certainly be a less drawdown than we've seen in the past. I think that he's got some good arguments here, man. I think you can always look at stuff in hindsight. I mean, we started pushing this false top theory back last year. Earlier this year, and people wrote that off. People wrote that off for sure, because really that would have meant we should have seen a bottom sometime in May. We got bottom in June. It was very close to that. Obviously, there were a lot of macro events. Somebody said something on Twitter. They said, if you're looking for the reason why Bitcoin pumped this week, then you don't understand Bitcoin. It's just going to have days where it goes up. I'm like, well, look, when I was a Cincinnati crypto, the important thing is looking at the volume. When we went back and looked at the volume for this year, you can pretty much tie the volume to an event every single time. You couldn't tie the volume this time really to an event other than the gigantic liquidations on FTX.
Well,
nobody's going to know and remember in five
months. We covered something interesting on the after show yesterday, our Twitch after show. That was did you see the thing Arthur Hayes was talking about, which is something that had come up in our research group as well with the Treasury, these basically making these new T-bills that the Treasury can buy to prop up different markets. That's what he was crediting the event to, even though it hasn't happened yet. Just the speculation of it is what propped that market up and kind of, on the stock market.
Yeah.
One thing that was interesting to me about his theory, he was saying, comparing, a lot of people obviously compare Bitcoin to the NASDAQ or to the stock market in general. And they always like to point out that Bitcoin's never experienced this macroeconomic, condition, but they're not really pointing out, of course, sure, the NASDAQ pumped before because they were pumping more money into the system than they ever had before. So I think the fact that we're in a different macroeconomic and Bitcoin seeing less of a drawdown while stocks are getting crushed, I think it creates more of the narrative that we're going to become uncorrelated versus correlated. I mean, it makes sense for it to be correlated, obviously, when they're printing money like crazy. Oh, we got Eddie Parrott in the chat.
Eddie Parrott. We haven't seen Eddie Parrott in a while. Here's super chat, Eddie Parrott. Eddie Parrott loves him some Eddie Parrott.
He sure does.
For sure. So we'll see what happens with that. I mean, look, guys, so we are at a point, we've already been at a point with this bear market to where we have seen things differently than we've seen before. Every market you see, every cycle you see slight variations from the one before. But ultimately, when you take those variations into consideration, it helps you predict the rest of the market. If we were to, yes, I am wearing a postcard. That is true. Thank you for that super chat, or for that regular chat. If you pay money for a super chat, I will send you the postcard. That's a lie. I will not send you the postcard. But, I think ultimately, here's what people have to keep in mind. If Bitcoin is going to stay on the same track that it has been on for history, if you take everything else, you throw it out the window. Take the stock market, take the NASDAQ, take gold, take all these things they say are correlated, throw them out the window. You just look at the Bitcoin chart. Guys, we're not expecting Bitcoin to rip for a while now. It's not going to be this year. I see a lot of people in the chat have been talking about, we'll give you this by the end of the year, this by the end of the year, or this by the end of next year. Yeah, by the end of next year, we could see some bullish movement by the end of next year. The important part is we are now far enough in this bear market where we can actually start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, whether we have a bottom or whether we don't. Carver Quinn, I'm not sending you a postcard. I'm sorry. We are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. It's not soon. It's not quick, but you can start to see it. Why? Because we're so far in the thick of this thing. It took a lot of people a lot of time to really realize we're in this. We called it in April. So, if you've been watching this channel, for the last 6 months, we've been preaching bear, 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 bear. It's not happening soon. We're not turning around soon. If you listen to what blockchain backers are saying, listen to what a lot of people are saying out there. The people that know, the people that are smart, the people that don't depend on telling you it's bullish for clicks, we all agree it's not going to be a quick process here. You look at the macro environment, whether the macro environment affects Bitcoin or not. I tend to think it doesn't as much as people think. Macro environment's not great. However, we could see the macro environment start slowly getting better next year. Of course, then we still will probably have housing market problems. We'll still have other market problems. But in general, the stock market, the NASDAQ, I think if we pause the rates, things can get positive for a while. And if you really think about it, here's something that's really beautiful if you think about it. Because what have we said the model is? We've said the model is this year we go down dramatically. Next year we go sideways for the entire year. The next year we start to go up. Well, let's look at the Fed's model. What is the Fed's model right now? What if we were to take a guess at what most likely we're going to be seeing? By the end of this year or the beginning of next year at the latest, we are going to see pause on the rate hikes. They're not going to raise anymore. However, what are they not going to do?
They're not going to reduce them.
They're not going to reduce them. They're not going to be reversing them for a while. So you really think about it, if you look at the Fed's game plan here, it looks like this year they crush us with the rates. Next year they just keep things status quo. And then the following year they'll start reversing them. Man, how that ticks along with the timeline of Bitcoin. I mean, and what we expect to see with Bitcoin really is phenomenal.
And if you think about the problem they're trying to solve, right? Like banks were pretty much out of money. We were running up against a liquidity crisis, a sovereign debt crisis. So by raising the rates, banks just had the biggest earnings they've had in a long time. They just crushed it. So if they can keep the rates up for next year, let the banks build that money back up, the reserves back up, then they can afford to start dropping the rates.
Retail's got to recover from buying the top and selling. So I think that, guys, don't forget to check out the basement. This is our Twitch chat. You guys head on over to Twitch. If you're a long time, BitSquad member, that's where a lot of our OGs are, is watching on Twitch. Experience with the chat. It's a little bit better over there on Twitch. A lot of people believe. We have an official after show. What's the name of the official after show?
Blockchain Basement.
Blockchain Basement. Yeah. That's right. Blockchain Basement is on Twitch after the show. TJ, Kelly, Drew, AJ, a lot of our people from, who am I missing? Nick DeMonte, Steven Don, sometimes.
It's just a collection of random different people around here. All people that are in crypto all day, every day. A lot of our research team, BJ, likes to join us a lot. So we have a good time. It's casual. It's a Q&A style show. Yesterday, if you guys were there, a lot of questions from the chat. So we just tried to spend as much time as we can answering your questions. And it's really a partnership with Twitch to help try to build the crypto community on Twitch and spread the good word.
Can you turn your own camera on Twitch like Justin TV? Justin TV is Twitch, correct?
Justin TV is Twitch, yeah.
Justin TV is Twitch. I remember trying to watch football games on Justin TV like back in 2011.
That's funny. Well, you want to hear what's funny?
I do want to hear what's funny.
We got an email from them to Tim, and he was thinking it was like Justin Williams. He had no, he could not. I'm like, no, it's Twitch. He's like, well, it says Justin TV. I'm like, no, Justin TV is Twitch. It was funny.
Man, that's funny. Another young guy says, I respect the channel for bringing different perspectives on the market situation. We've always done that, guys. So I don't want you to only hear my voice. I want you to hear my voice because I like you all and we're friends. But certainly you got to get other opinions on the market. And look, we bring people on to get perspectives. Sometimes it gives me a little different perspective on the market even. I'm not, dead set on what I believe. I am not going to change predictions based on today's market moves. I'm not going to do that. Like I said, I listened to what Blockchain Backer said. I think there's a lot of credence to a lot of stuff he said. At the end, I'm still sticking with my guns on this. But I'm taking that information into consideration. That's what you have to do. Your own research. What does that mean? Take in new information and allow it to guide your strategy. That's what that means. So, all right, let's go markets right here real quick. I know that's a great portfolio, Cool Hand Luke. I love it. I think it's a great portfolio. Absolutely phenomenal. Except for FTT. Screw FTT. Sorry. Exchange at 521, 21,539, market cap 996 billion. Look at that volume. That volume is feeling nice. We are at 91 billion. Bitcoin dominance.
Let me ask you this real quick. How much do you think the 1 trillion market cap matters?
A lot.
So we're just below it now versus being above it yesterday, the day before. So you think it matters?
I do think it matters. Yeah. I think, look, I've always pointed, a lot of people have said it doesn't matter. I pointed this number so many times over the last year and said, this number really seems to be like the linchpin of whether we're bullish or bearish.
I agree.
When we go below, and guys, when you look back at 2017, we peaked out at almost 1 trillion. We didn't quite get to 1 trillion. And that was a sign that things went down. Look at this last market cycle. We went way above it, and then it was acting as support. And then once we broke it, look how far down below it we went. So I think the $1 trillion overall market cap is important for the entire crypto space. And if you look how this relates to Bitcoin, this relates to it in terms of it's about 400 billion you're looking for a solid number for Bitcoin. So I think these are important numbers to note. Bitcoin dominance still not above 40%, 39.6. ETH dominance 19%. 10 Paraguay Shenzhen ETH transaction. Bitcoin 20,591. Ethereum 1548. And guys, I really believe when you look at these numbers here, if we do get another downswing for Bitcoin and we do make a new low, I think with Ethereum sitting at 1549, I think it still is really strong. We don't make a new low with Ethereum. I think Bitcoin can make a new low without Ethereum. Ethereum's low was about $900. I still think we're always going to retest that $1,000 mark for Ethereum, but the Ethereum number is the one that's giving me a little more confidence that maybe things are going up rather than the Bitcoin number, because 1548 for Ethereum is a really strong position. I mean, even at the week, 19% up for Ethereum, 7% for Bitcoin. So, and is this finally, guys, are we finally seeing some of the effects of the merge? I mean, if you look at the halving, it takes 2 to 3 months to kick in. We're looking right now, we're almost 2 months away from when the merge occurred, or somewhere thereabouts, maybe 6 weeks, whatever it is. Are we starting to see Ethereum get some legs up because of that? Definitely questionable. Biggest gainers of the day. We have Clayton, Dogecoin. Why Dogecoin pumping? Well, it's because Ethereum or Elon Musk brought a sink into.
I thought that was pretty funny. Why?
He said, "Let this sink in," and like David Schwartz was like, "I don't understand the sink." I was like, "He did it for a dad joke." Can we be honest here?
Yeah.
Clearly, that's a dad joke, correct?
Obviously, yeah. Or he's ready to throw everything but the kitchen sink at him.
Yeah, I'm ready to get David Schwartz on the channel soon.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, I want to get David on the channel. I like David. I like all the Ripple people. Look, if you had told me 3 or 4 years ago that I would have said that I think Brad Garlinghouse is like maybe the #1 hero in crypto, I would have said you were insane. He's a bad person. He's horrible, blah, blah, blah. Brad Garlinghouse understands what's going on in crypto more than anybody else. I'm telling you, he really does. Some of the people I really look up to and say, these are the top people in crypto, Brad Garlinghouse, Eric Voorhees, CZ.
Charles.
These are all people. What's that?
Charles
Hoskinson, obviously Charles. Yeah, obviously Charles. Didn't mean to leave him out there. But those are definitely some of the top people I believe in this crypto space that really understand the heartbeat and what's going on, and all have good motives. I think they all want what's best for crypto. So, okay, let's Let's move on here. We already talked about that. Bitcoin price prediction as it gets past 20,500. Where's it going next? This is President Obama's deputy chief of staff, Jim Messina. I'm incredibly bullish. I'm buying Bitcoin right now. I bet you my Porsche Bitcoin gets back to 60K.
What?
Yeah, of course it's going to get to 60K, but when? But when, guys? But when? We have this story here. Dow soars more than 400 points as traders cheer stronger than forecasted U.S. economic growth data. That's scary that we're in a recession and we're getting positive, growth. That's pretty concerning, actually. We tend to feel these things much later down the road. Here we have Bitcoin exchange reserves down to just 12.2% of supply as 123.5K Bitcoin gets withdrawn in October. This means that exchanges right now have about 12.2% of the supply in liquidity for people to buy, sell, trade, whatever the case may be. I still say these numbers are skewed due to the Celsius debacle, due to, Voyager, due to Vault, due to all these companies that went insolvent. I think a higher percentage of people than normal are pulling money off exchanges. It does have a compound effect on the liquidity, which can cause the price to rise. But ultimately, in my opinion, I don't think that these numbers are extremely, extremely important right now like they were in the past. So Sam Bankman-Fried wants a pillow back. Wants an FTX pillow back here.
Yeah.
Not giving it to him.
Good luck.
Not giving it to him. The guy can't buy me off. I can tell you that much. Let's see. Yep. So there's a trend, blah, blah, blah. I mean, if you look at the trend here, if you look at last night's data, I'm sure it'll back up what I'm saying. You look at June. Yeah. I mean, look, what do you think this falling off a cliff is? This is Celsius right here, guys. That is in June. That's what ended up kicking this off towards a downswing. We haven't seen a downswing this dramatic, in several years. And, I think these numbers are skewed now. A record 55,000 Bitcoin or over 1.1 billion was just drawn from Binance, which, by the way, I do want to point out, Will Clement said yesterday on one of my posts about FTX. Are you okay, honey? She just dropped her phone.
Dire.
But then she bent over to pick it up. Like it. Okay. My wife's watching. Okay. Guys, this is what I'm trying to say here is that Will Clement said Binance and Bybit no longer report accurate liquidation numbers. I don't know if this is true. This is what he says. Hopefully we'll be able to get some confirmation from our research team on whether that is true or not true. But regardless of how accurate it is, the 80% versus 5% of liquidations for FTX compared to Binance, 5% for OKX, those numbers, even if they are skewed,
they still seem a bit off.
They're still a bit off for sure. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But here we go. 55,000 Bitcoin withdrawn from Binance. The outflow beats all of their buying sprees,
including the dip back there in 17.6 and
yeah. Wow, look at this. Wow, that's dramatic. That is a gigantic amount withdrawn.
Yeah, it is.
What is the point? Where did it go to? That's what I would wonder. This seems to be, well, I'll tell you what I was told about the FTX liquidations, which was that, most likely there was a really, really, really gigantic big whale that got liquidated. That's what it boiled down to. Were they chasing this person to liquidate them, potentially? So when you look at this story with Binance, you got to say, kind of same thing. Like, this is not a combination of people pulling their money off yesterday, like 55,000 taken off by individuals. There's a larger entity somewhere in play that's taking that money off for a reason.
Right.
We don't know what it is. Definitely something to watch. Because I could certainly see that sent back in and liquidated or sent back in and sold to get a bottom. So, okay, let's see here. Crypto community social activity skyrockets amid signs of potential market rebound. As of October 26th, crypto community social activity had skyrocketed to hit 910.63 mentions. The metric likely to attain new all-time highs if the rebound is sustained. A lot of people talking crypto, but look, guys, it's not just about the price. We obviously have a lot of stuff out there about FTX. Obviously, my rant broke into the mainstream for sure. That got so many views. I mean, we were trending on Twitter for 3 days, over 40,000 tweets every single day about us. So that certainly, I think, played into this as well. There's been a lot of interesting stuff going on. People understand there's a battle going on in crypto right now. So this is not just because the price went up yesterday. I think we are seeing and just what we said, like, guys, the market has not been boring. It sucked, but it hasn't been boring. We've definitely had a lot of talk about in the world of crypto. The price of Bitcoin has been boring.
Yeah.
But in the world of crypto, There's been a lot of news going on. So, okay. Let's see. Cardano market cap grows by over 1 billion in 24 hours. He said it was up to 15. Now it's at 16%. Cardano over the last 7 days managed to grow by 16%. As it rallied together with a majority of its fellow altcoins during this week's bullish run. Bearish signal indicators narrowly outnumbered bullish ones, 17 to 16. With this development, sentiment toward the asset is favoring the bears. So here we go. We got the price going up, but people are still telling you that there's a large chance, that price is going down because there's more bears than bulls. In fact, while the Cardano community is confident of higher trading price next month, predictions from Coin Codex say otherwise. And look, I was the #1 Cardano influencer this week, is what it said on some chart that I saw. And I'm here telling you, guys, I don't expect the price to go up next month. Guys, even if we have bottomed, this is what you guys have to understand. Like, even if the price has bottomed and we've been wrong, we're not getting another downswing. Even if that's true, doesn't mean things are going up. It doesn't mean things are going up. The first half of a bull run does not feel like a bull run because you've established a low and you're moving up slowly and sideways for a majority of it. So you guys definitely need to, temper your expectations during this time. Temper your expectations. You should really be focused on accumulating, whether it's Cardano or XRP or whatever the case may be. Crypto is seeing broad bipartisan support in upcoming U.S. midterm elections. Well, I will tell you for sure that there is one party who has realized they have made a big mistake in crypto. And they are ready to atone for their sins. They're starting to realize that they made some bad mistakes. There's actually a lot of great stuff about crypto that favors both parties. And when people take advantage of that and realize, oh, we can use this for good, we can use this for good, this lines up with our messaging, then it makes sense to support it, not reject it. So I think a lot of people are seeing that. I think there's a very strong chance that we are going to get 2 presidential candidates that are both extremely pro-crypto. One is Ron DeSantis. The other one is not Joe Biden. It is not Joe Biden. I'm just telling you. So you heard it here first, I guess. Gavin Newsom's going to be running for president for the Democratic side. Go ahead and mark that down, guys. And Gavin Newsom's actually very pro-crypto, believe it or not. So you guys can watch for that. I don't know how it plays out. I don't know how that happens, but a lot of these people are pre-selected, is what I'll tell you. And there are groups that pre-select these people.
Mm-hmm.
Gavin Newsom is on the radar, is going to probably be the person running for president on the Democratic side.
Did you ever watch that show, Secession? It's HBO.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
love Secession.
There's a scene in Secession where they show that exact thing you're talking about, where they're selecting the next presidential candidates, and they're all upset because somebody on there, got the one who was currently sitting not to run. So they're like, all right, now we got to pick from these guys. Great. And they just basically, those guys have to go talk to the 10 people that make the decision, the billionaires in the room, and, tell them they're going to help them. And then they pick them. It's wild.
Yeah. There's no way that we're going to see Joe Biden run for president. I'm sorry. He's going to be forced out here. I mean, it's very clear. He will not win again. It doesn't matter who goes against him. We could have Mickey Mouse go against him. Joe Biden is not going to win again. I mean, it's very clear he doesn't know what he's doing. It was a choice of 2 evils to a lot of people, and people picked him over the other guy, and it is what it is. PayPal doing their misinformation. We're going to get there in just a minute when we get to PayPal. So, Gavin Newsom is what they call him here in California. Look, guys, there are a lot of things about Gavin Newsom I disagree with. There's a lot of stuff about a lot of people I disagree with. But I'm telling you, from this point forward on this channel, for me, whoever's pro-crypto, if you're both pro-crypto, then I can make decisions based on other things. I'm a one issue voter from this point forward until I feel like things are on the right track, because crypto is the only thing that is going to save us from this World Economic Forum taking us over. That's the most pressing, most important issue, not in just politics, in the world right now. We are in a very clear battle for the future of humanity, however you want to call it. And so if you come out against crypto, if you come out against Bitcoin, I'm sorry, there ain't a chance you're getting my vote, because you must be with them. That's the way I feel about it. So, okay. All right. Let's see what happens here. BitBoy for president. We'll see. Maybe I'll run one day. If I run, I'm not running for anything but president. Or I'll run with Charles as his vice president. Crypto scene. Yeah, so here we go. We've got this story. Elections will take place on November 8th, yada, yada, yada. This has been demonstrated in much of the proposed legislation surrounding crypto so far. Obviously, we have a bill in the Senate from Jill Brand and Cynthia Lummis, still not been voted in yet. Crypto packs are growing. We've seen backing from the likes of managing partners of Andreessen Horowitz. Thank you, Eric Wilson, for that. It is really Sam Bankman-Fried who has been the force behind crypto donations. Big shocker. He's trying to pay off the government to make decisions. He wants to be the president. He wants to be the person that determines the future of the world. And guess what? He's all hooked up with the World Economic Forum. So, he had Bill Clinton, of course, on stage with him at an event. Guys, I hope I don't get killed for saying that. But the thing is that, look, he doesn't have your best interest at heart. He's using his money to manipulate this entire space. And I will not stop until this man is brought down. Okay. Twitter shares to be suspended on New York Stock Exchange as Musk nears takeover. Twitter Inc. shares will be suspended from trading on Friday as the court ordered the date when he does his $44 billion deal. Stock has surged nearly 65% from a 4-year low. Twitter loses most active users and struggles to keep others. Well, that's because they ban them all. This is according to a report generated by Twitter staffers, seen by Reuters. Internal documents generated by Twitter said that heavy tweeters account for under 10% of monthly overall users. I'm sure I'm a heavy tweeter. I'm sure I'm considering that. But these tweeters generate 90% of all tweets, and thus half of all global revenue. You're welcome, Twitter. Elon, you better get on my good side or I'll stop tweeting about you. Which he would really hate that. A heavy tweeter is... Oh. Here we go. Check this out. A heavy tweeter is defined as someone who logs into the platform 6 or 7 days a week and tweets about 3 to 4 times a week.
Yeah.
They have not been to crypto Twitter. I will tell you that much. Between me, Carl, Chris, and Altcoin Daily, I mean, we probably tweet 1,000 times a day, probably. I mean, that's a slight over exaggeration. But the fact is that this is a heavy user. It's a heavy user 3-4 times a week. You wouldn't even call somebody a crackhead if they smoke crack just 3 or 4 times a week. That'd be heavy users. I don't know. Among the most followed on the platform are Barack Obama, Justin Bieber, the robotic Katy Perry, Rihanna, Cristiano Ronaldo, Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga, Elon Musk, BitBoy Crypto, among others. Let's see here. Twitter is dying because it's murdering free speech. There's Taylor Marjorie Greene. You guys may not know this, but she is actually my local congresswoman. She is, Paulding County. That's right. The topics of greatest interest on Twitter include cryptocurrencies. There are other popular topics. These include unsafe for work adult content. Oh, great. So it's crypto and porn. These people.
Twitter's crushing it. Yeah.
Yeah, Twitter is crushing it. A lot of people getting crushed on the not safe for work side. Let's see. BitBoy SBF work caused gambling addiction ads to increase. That's cool. I don't know who Taylor Swift is. I mean, this might be Taylor's. I don't know. Did she get married to someone named Tyler, and he took her last name? I don't know. She seems like the kind of girl that would make somebody take her last name. I don't know. Doesn't she?
She does.
She does.
Absolutely.
She does.
She's definitely not changing her name.
Happy birthday, BitBoy. Been listening to you daily since I bought the top in April of 2021.
Hey, welcome to the family.
We've all done it. We've all been there. Tyler is Swift's brother.
Well, that's what was funny. They were asking me the other day about like where I bought ADA. Like, oh, didn't you bought it at like the absolute bottom, right? I'm like, guys, you don't understand. I bought the absolute top first. I bought it at the absolute peak in 2018, and then bought it all the way down, and then finally bought the most at the bottom in 2019.
We done been there, done that.
We did it. Yeah.
You're not talking to people that haven't done it. Let's see. I appreciate what Ben does for the crypto space, but this is important. Listen closely. But I never feel the need to compliment him. He does a fine job of complimenting himself. Well, thank you for that compliment, that I'm a great complimenter. I'm also the most humble person you've ever met. If you need confirmation, just ask me and I'll tell you so. Okay. There we go. So that's a cool story, I guess. Over 2 billion inflows in Doge in 2 days, pushing meme coin 30% higher. Elon Musk, Dogecoin, yada, yada, yada. Does he ever stop this connection with Dogecoin?
Will he? I don't know. I think he gets too much enjoyment out of it. I don't think there's a lot really to it, but I think he likes the idea of people thinking there is and teasing that there is. And then I just do it just to be ironic.
Yeah.
I wouldn't surprise me one bit.
Yeah. I don't really feel like covering too much of that story. Here's what it is. 63% of Ethereum transaction blocks are now OFAC compliant. A lot of people are upset about this. A lot of people are upset that, Ethereum and their nodes seem to be going a little more with the regulatory environment. Sneezed on my birthday. Happy birthday, Sneeze. Most widely used among these relays, kind of for nearly 49% of the total MEV block market, is Flashbots, which said it would ignore transactions from Tornado Cash. Already told you who I think is behind all that. It's not ignoring the issue. A lot of people are saying that, Ethereum is just another centralized coin because of this. I don't really have a lot of defense for him on this.
This is a pretty nuanced discussion. I feel like you're right. There really isn't obviously it is getting more censored. I would say there's less censorship on Ethereum than there is on the US dollar, so it's still better than the US dollar, but it's not moving. It's definitely not trending in the direction that I would like to see it trend. Yeah. But it's also kind of not surprising at the same time.
You know who probably is not going to be doing this?
Cardano. Yeah. And that's why we need other options, guys. That's why, to me, what makes crypto so great is options. If you don't like the way the certain protocol is being run or a certain chain, the direction it's going, you can move to a different chain,
Well, I mean, Cardano is our number one chain now. I mean, I've already said it. I think it's going to pass Ethereum. I do believe that. Crypto Mason came out and specifically said he does not think it's going to pass Ethereum, which I thought was interesting for him to say. I was surprised that he thought it that way. Meg likes ADA more than he does, apparently.
Yeah, I saw that on that little clip.
But they both told me happy birthday. Love those people. They're great. Yeah. Ben should dress up as FTX. How do I dress up as a scam? I don't understand. So, yeah, a lot of interesting comments in the chat here I'm watching. But we got to move on and get a little quicker. Ethereum Layer 2 soars $5 billion in locked value. You're always going to need Layer 2s. You're always going to need faster transactions. Arbitrum 1, Optimism, both doing really well. We know Polygon also doing really well. Also, FTX may launch its own stable. Look at this guy.
That's weird.
I can't with this guy. I really can't with him. FTX may launch own stablecoin in the not too distant future. It's got between 1 and 4 billion on hand to make acquisitions. FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried revealed that the crypto exchange is concerned to develop its own stablecoin. In an interview with the big whale, here he is. I don't want to see his mouth move. Earlier this month, he advocated for regulatory oversight of the crypto space and stablecoins in particular at an event hosted by the Bipartisan Policy Center of Washington, D.C. He is really getting up in there. I mean, it really is unbelievable the stuff he's trying to push. But hey, you know what they're not reporting at Blockworks? The push against him. There is a gigantic push against this man. And we are going to make sure it continues. It will not be stopping. Obviously, it's personal between him and I. It is personal. He wants to act like he doesn't have any idea. He knows what he did. He knows what he did. We have screenshots. He knows what he did. So, yeah, it is very personal between me and SBF. But at this point, it's moved to something much larger, which is now people are sending me information left and right about what FTX has been doing behind the scenes. And it's been right here under our noses the entire time. And it's going to continue to get exposed. And we're going to continue to do it. We're not going to let this man take over crypto. I don't care how much money he has. I don't care how much money he has. We're not going to let him take our space over. That's the beautiful thing about crypto is, when we work together, we can stop things like this for sure. Okay. I'm an FTX hater for sure. Yeah, I am a hater of companies in crypto that try to destroy other companies for their own benefit. Yeah, I hate that. They're about to get a taste of their own medicine. JP Morgan exploring applications of digital identity. You want to talk about another terrible person? There's Jamie Dimon. He always looks like he's trying to figure something out, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. He's just got one of those faces. It's like,
he looks like a concerned grandfather.
It's personal because SBF donated to Brandon. Absolutely not, guys. If you think Sam Bankman-Fried is a liberal and that's why he gave money to Joe Biden, you're wrong. He just gave money because he wants influence, and he's not playing a left or right game here, guys. He's not playing a left or right game. He's playing a political influence game. A political influence game. That is what he's doing. It doesn't matter who he gave the money to. Now, you could say maybe he knew who was going to win. Maybe he was privy to some of that information. Maybe that's why he gave to the one candidate over the other. But the other candidate was very anti-Bitcoin also. So PayPal again says that they will charge $2,500 for what they don't like, whatever they deem that to be. Here we go. We're back with a $25 fine.
I can't believe. So they came out and removed it due to the outrage. As soon as it dies down, they put it right back in there. I can't. That's ballsy. I can't believe they did it. I guess they just did an analysis to say, oh, we probably won't get more outrage again. I don't know. It's crazy.
Guys, go to Twitter and say you're closing your PayPal account again. We need to do this again because it is what it is here, guys. Early in October, social media was aflame with anger and surprise that PayPal had sent out notice of terms of service amendment to include that they could take $2,500 from any of their customers that participated in any online content that they deemed inappropriate, including the spraying of information. I guess, God forbid, I hope Coin Bureau doesn't use PayPal because, man, he got fact-checked and they said that was false.
Right.
Now, the CBDCs are bad, so they fact-checked a meme, guys. That's where we're at in the world right now. They fact-check memes now. So this is very troubling what PayPal is doing. They slid it right back in there. Absolutely terrible. I've been seeing a lot of pro-SBF comments over here in the chat. Those are obviously bots because no one is pro-SBF. If you're pro-SBF, you're a robot. You are not no authentic human. It's pro-SBF. So there you go. Let's see. They could be if you don't like race, religion, gender identity, sexual orientation, yada yada yada. If they don't like your opinion on that, if they don't like Kanye's opinion, well, guess what? They're going to kick him out. Ryan W. Super Chat, happy birthday, Ben. Here's lunch on me. Thank you for that. Changed my life in immeasurable ways. Wow is all I can say. Thank you. Well, I certainly did not want to get out the tape measure. So thank God we are not going to be measuring you to see what we've added to your life. But certainly thank you for the super chat. And I will eat today. Is it prudent for Voyager customers to sign up for FTX KYC now, or should everyone just wait? Personal decision, I guess, is what I'll say on that. But I certainly don't believe that you should turn down your money that they're going to give you. I hate them. I hope they lose everything, but I hope you get your money back first. So there you go. Okay. Moving on here. We got XRP. Throw the X up. Throw it up. Super excited to get some stuff going on with Ripple here in the near future. XRP accounts nearing 4.35 million mark. But here's an even crazier stat. More bots in the chat. I see y'all. According to XRP Ledger Services, which tracks XRPL's performance, there are currently 4.3 million XRP accounts. They hold 55.7 billion XRP in their wallets, of which 43.425 million XRP is the amount of those reserves that are blocked when the wallet is created. While 44% of all XRP rests in operating accounts, the remainder is traded on the crypto market, where supply on decentralized exchanges alone amounts to 17.25 trillion XRP. And it's important to clarify that not all of the supply on the DEX is funded. So there we go. What a crazy stat here. 44% in operating accounts. So there's another story here. SEC takes no position on two motions in support of Ripple and XRP lawsuit. Guys, this really is moving to a point where, man, this case may be over sooner than we think. It really could be, to be honest with you. I think Jeremy Hogan said that recently. Somebody said it recently. Big XRP, investigator, lawyer, or whatever. The SEC's not taking a position on two motions submitted by nonprofit organization Investor Choice Advocates Network and crypto wallet provider Spin the Bits, which seeks to weigh in on the lawsuit between the SEC and Ripple Labs. I guess this is where they're going to be filing more of that amica curiae, something like that, maybe. Let's see. Doesn't say. Let's see. Either of the two motions are granted. I see the request to be able to respond. Earlier this month, Investor Choice Advocates Network Spin the Bits filed the motions to, submit an amicus curiae brief, typically submitted by an individual organization that's not a party but intended to influence court's decision. December 2020, the SEC filed a lawsuit against Ripple, blah, blah, blah. What does this mean, in my opinion? Well, in my opinion, I think this means that the SEC is giving up. I think they're giving up. I think settlement will probably be coming soon. I don't want there to be a settlement, but I think they're ultimately going to hand over a settlement so great for Ripple that it's going to be hard for them to turn it down. That's kind of where I see things going. So let's see. Deaton and Hogan both said it. Keep your eye on November the 15th. Okay, so there we go. We got a date to watch here. We'll see what happens. Richard Ruggs. Hey, your robotic language messed up there. You were supposed to insert things in that. It's like a Mad Okay, quickly, real quick, Kazakhstan to launch CBDC on the BNB chain. A lot of people are not happy about this, saying that Binance should not be working with these people for CBDCs. I haven't looked into the story enough to make a decision on it, but I think we're going to have CZ on the channel soon. I did talk to someone I know there at Binance, really awesome person. So supposed to be trying to make that happen soon. So excited about that. We should be getting CZ. Maybe we're on a remote interview, and then, of course, hopefully we'll be at the same place, same time. We do one live at some point in the future. Google's chief business officer admits crypto winter is impacting his revenue. That's cool.
Yeah. They literally, we covered this on the base. They blamed crypto advertising for them missing their earnings. Does that seem crazy to you?
Yeah, because you don't allow it. If you allowed it, you hit your earnings.
That's kind of what I thought. There's no way that was big enough category.
Meta had a 20% candle loss yesterday, I believe. Their business lose over $3.5 billion in Q3 of 2022. One of the 15 biggest fights TJ and I ever got over was over Meta. Would you agree? One of the top 15?
Probably, yeah.
Probably one of the top 15. Close. It's borderline.
Yeah.
It's borderline. Top 15. Because I believe that Meta's on the way out. I think Facebook's on the way out. I think it's going to fail as a company completely. You tend to believe they got their hooks in too much stuff to fail.
Yeah. I would put them, and it could be somewhere, maybe it's in between. Maybe like I would put them in like a Yahoo.
Man, there are a lot of people that love to be between you and me.
Oh, that's true. But if you think about like where Yahoo is, they were a dominant player for a long time. They're still a business that makes good money, but they're not, I wouldn't say, a top relevant player. I could see Meta doing something like that.
Yeah, I see that as well. Hong Kong plans to legalize retail crypto trading. This is big because they're controlled by China. So this might be where China is allowing some of their people to go over there and trade. So we'll see. Okay. All right, let's. We got a couple questions, maybe two.
One question. Well,
let's do one question.
You're doing a good job of hitting them as they were coming.
Yeah, I like that.
Do you think the XRP case will be settled or won? It's a tough one.
If we want it done soon, it's going to have to be a settlement.
Yeah.
If they're going to win, it's going to be
forever.
End of Q2, if not Q3 of next year.
Yeah.
So I think ultimately the SEC is going to have to give them just such a favorable settlement to get them to settle that I think ultimately that's probably what will happen. All right, guys. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. Appreciate you all. Glad to be back in the studio. Smash your likes on the way out. Don't forget to go check out the basement chat, the blockchain basement over on Twitch. We're a big fan of Twitch. We love what's happening there. That's all I got. Be blessed. Good boy out.